it's an exciting day, Will. We have what I believe, we just talked about this. What I believe is our very first guest on this show and on this channel.
Yeah. That's right. It's apparently what I do.
And we're kicking it off, it's with a bang right here. We have, I don't know if you care about this, we have some new iPads launching. Apparently iPads are popular now because of COVID. So there's winners and losers here as far as COVID's concerned. Everybody was upgrading their at-home setups because they had to work from home.
Yep.
I guess you've been mostly at home. Everybody's at home.
Everyone is.
A lot. So anyway, they're putting out some new ones, presumably an iPad Pro line refresh. The rumor is they're going to do this, what is it, a mini LED?
Yeah, I saw this, like the mini LED. Have you seen a mini LED screen? Like on a laptop or anything?
Have I? I've seen it on a TV.
I've never seen it on a TV.
Right? What is? They
have them.
Yeah, I've seen mini LED on a TV. I don't like it as much as OLED on a TV at least. Which is weird because the other report here is that the iPad Air is going to receive an OLED display and the mini LED tech would be reserved for the iPad Pro.
Really?
So they, obviously are making a substantial bet that it'll be a better experience than OLED. But
so from what I've seen, at least on laptop displays, OLED panels have an issue with color accuracy. Mm-hmm. Like when you adjust the brightness on OLED panel, it'll mess with that color accuracy.
Yeah, everything's so poppy too. It's so contrasty. It's tough to tone it down. That for professional work, it might not be ideal.
Yeah.
For content consumption,
it's the best.
It's incredible, right? Maybe OLED is the better choice for TVs, and maybe mini LED ends up being the go-to choice for iPads and laptops. Certainly with the pros, they're gonna have a higher sticker price. So whatever costs are incurred from upgrading that particular display tech, they can compensate. They can bake it into the margin.
I'm actually surprised how long it's taken them though. Like if you think about how every other tablet out there has been using OLED for years.
every phone.
Yeah,
but they were slow on the phone too.
On the phone as well.
That's Apple's thing, isn't it? Take your time, wait to see how it goes.
Yeah. For
a while now, at least.
Right, but I feel like it was just strange that the iPads just had like IPS displays forever when everyone else was delivering an OLED.
Well, what about fingerprint unlock? Like in display, stuff like that.
They are slow.
The rumor is that now they're going to do it. It's a rumor for now, or they put Touch ID back in the iPad Air in the button.
Yeah.
Which, would they have done that without COVID? I don't know. But it's one of those things where Apple seems to be somewhat stubborn around their decisions, their feature decisions.
At least they were. I feel like they've gone a little bit quicker.
Yeah, which is cool because I feel like having multiple unlock methods is a
it's the
positive
way
thing. Yeah,
for sure.
It's super helpful. Anyway, there is a chart on a Bloomberg article of how well the iPad is actually doing. You can see from 2018 all the way up to Q4 2020. It's maybe you wouldn't have expected that device to climb like that, but big part of that has been COVID, and also iPads have gotten good, and a lot of the competition has dropped out. Mm-hmm. There's not that many options that are out there.
Yeah,
and unless you want to go all the way up to some sort of, since you do a lot of the laptops, I'm sure you've seen all kinds of nice 2-in-1 type designs and things like that.
No, but in terms of tablets, like
straight up tablets. Yeah.
I don't think there's real competition.
But let me ask you this. Here's a good question for you because you spend so much time with these devices. If you were to advise, I get this question all the time, like a college student,
sure,
or even a high school student,
sure.
They can either do the whole iPad thing, with a keyboard case and and whatever accessories you're supposed to have with it, and a pen, or they can get like a full Windows machine that can be a tablet, can be a laptop, etc. What's your advice in real life?
So I feel like that question is difficult for people like you and I to answer because
Yeah, you have to try to put yourself in their shoes.
And we're not.
Our shoes,
We're not students anymore.
not even close.
Right?
Never mind students. We get all these products sent to us.
Yeah.
We have way too much exposure.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying it's an easy question, but I'm saying if it was like somebody related to you, I don't know.
I would tell them to get a laptop.
Right.
Just because there's versatility there.
Sure.
Right. You're always going to be able to connect that laptop up. But with tablets, you're going to run into those situations where it's, you need something to connect. You need a USB mouse. You need to connect to the projector.
Yeah, you're just saying versatility.
That's the number one thing.
Yeah, I do. I agree with you. I still think that in most cases you have, and maybe there's a few circumstances like an art student or something.
Sure.
Where they really want to use the Apple Pencil on a frequent basis, doing a lot of sketching or something like that, because it's really lightweight place to sketch.
Yeah.
Unlike even a lot of those 2-in-1s, which end up a little bit bulky from that perspective. But it's tough. I mean, Apple's been making a case for a long time that their product is what you want, and you don't want one of those 2-in-1 things. Now, do you think Apple will ever do a 2-in-1 design?
I could see
or a
it.
touchscreen laptop?
If it happens, it won't be anytime soon, I feel. Their operating system is just not conducive to touch, like Mac OS.
Right,
It's
sure.
just really not built for it.
But what
And
if
to be
it
honest, now
flipped?
there's
What if it
Windows.
switched between the two? Now that you have M1, what if when it was in laptop mode, it was Mac OS, and then when you flipped it around,
Right.
it went to iOS? I mean,
So-
that could be a killer kind of thing.
It would be, right? But the mechanics of that would be very complex.
Very complex.
So I don't know.
Not anytime soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. We got a sponsor today. Hopefully, you can help us with this, Dave. It is Stitch Fix, and I know you're a big style guy. I mean, you put a lot of thought into this outfit today, right?
Sure. Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of things. There's a watch. There's a very colorful shirt.
Okay.
So anyway, Stitch Fix is for those people. Well, they could be actually like yourself, or they could be somebody who doesn't want to spend an extreme amount of time figuring out what their look should be. The way that Stitch Fix works is you actually get a stylist, somebody who knows you, gets to know you, knows your fits, everything like this, and then is able to send these looks to you, and you can decide what you want to keep. You can send back what you don't, but it would be, you could pick within a particular kind of category. So actually, I like that part, Will, when you go to the different types of styles they do, like the casual versus the more. I'm trying to figure out which one Dave actually is.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to pretend to be a customer here.
Yes.
If I'm on their site,
Yes.
let's like, what are the options? Do you have to upload your photos of stuff you have, or do they?
Oh, here we go. This is where I wanted to go.
okay.
Okay, this is where I wanted to go.
That is not athleisure.
Okay, so hold up, real quick.
Sure.
Here's what I want to do right now.
Okay.
We need to find out which of these categories
Would I go for?
is most suitable for you,
let's do
or
it.
just which of these looks would be the one you would choose if you were forced to choose one of this variety of looks. So the first
for
one
sure.
we have is active, and I'm just going to describe this for people who are only listening.
Okay.
Active, this guy has a kind of a slim puff to the jacket. That's a very casual pant. That's a jogger right there with a kind of like a heather gray thing going on. He's got sneakers, of course, and a white t-shirt, which is tucked in at the front. Okay, just bank that, Dave.
Okay.
We're grilling you here.
Okay.
Next up, we have the arguable athleisure, but I think the reason their athleisure got a little more casual is only because they have active.
Right.
Which is how some of us might call that athleisure.
Exactly.
So their athleisure guy, he's also got jogging pants. This time they're in like a military green. He's got an overcoat, which is like that sort of wool material by the looks of it. 3 buttons, a denim jacket underneath that. There's some layering going on, and a hat that actually, it may be a different texture, but it's matching the color of the jogging pants. Let's move to the next, casual. Now, I don't know. I feel like I could see Dave wearing something like that. I don't know. I'm just saying. Maybe there's something that's off about it. But here we have jeans. We have a khaki color shoe. It's not a dress shoe. It's not a sneaker. It's a hybrid. And we have one of those thin beige knit sweaters on top. Last up. Is this last? Is cozy last? Or we have one more? Okay. We have cozy, which is kind of like active, but you add to it a plaid fleece vest. And then we have weekend, which I guess puts a whole coat on you because you're going out at that point. There's a parka, it's jeans. You could do a lot with that particular look. Which of these best describes you, Dave Lee?
If we click on them, do you get to see more examples?
We're not
of
clicking.
It?
You're picking right now.
Okay. I would go for definitely not. I don't think I'd go casual. Years ago, I would have gone for casual.
Interesting. You're all about comfy these days?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I think I'd go for athleisure, not based on what the dude is wearing.
You just
though.
like the word athleisure.
I just feel like there's stuff in that
for sure
category.
There is. And actually, that's how it works. So it's the cool part about this is they're picking from a variety of brands, and they get to know your favorite brands. So if you saw like the guy had New Balance sneakers on, or I don't know, there's like Ralph Lauren, and like it's actually quite a comprehensive list of brands that they pull from. I don't know if they're listed. Yeah, you can see some of those. The North Faces over there, and Public Rec. I have some of their pants. It's they can pull from all kinds of different sources. And the truth is, Dave, a lot of people, they don't, like we were talking about having the time earlier. It's also some people, they just don't know what to pick. They go on, they're online shopping. You can't, nobody's walking into a store these days. So with this, they take your input, they take your measurements, then they use their fit tech. They have all kinds of software for it. They pinpoint based on it. They pump it into the system, the best options out of thousands of selections. Then they send it to you. You get to try it all on, and there's no commitment. If you like it, you keep it. If not, you send it back. That's how Stitch Fix works. Online shopping can be daunting. You never know if things will fit. Returns are difficult, and you don't even know what store you want to start at. This season, let Stitch Fix do all the hard work. Clothing is hand-selected by expert stylists for your unique size, style, and budget. Every piece is chosen for your fit and your life, and is an easy solution to finding what makes you look and feel your best. Who doesn't want that? There's no subscription required. You try Stitch Fix once, or you can set up automatic deliveries. You'll pay just a $20 styling fee for each box, which gets credited towards pieces you keep. So that styling fee comes out of the piece that you choose to keep. You know what I'm saying? So long as you choose to keep a piece.
What if you don't? What if you don't like anything?
No hidden fees ever. How about that? Stitch Fix has styles and clothing to fit any occasion for women, men, and kids. They ship all over the U.S. and available in the UK as well. Get started today at stitchfix.com/LouLater, and you'll get 25% off when you keep everything in your fix. So there's another incentive to keep your fix, 25% off. Just head over to stitchfix.com/LouLater or click the link down in the description. Don't forget the /LouLater to make sure you get your 25% off. Thank you to Stitch Fix for sponsoring this episode. OnePlus 9 is coming out. I don't know if you heard about it. OnePlus 9, OnePlus 9 Pro. You've heard these things?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, okay.
I have heard of them.
You know something about this?
Yeah.
They have put a lot of effort and energy into charge speed. Not just OnePlus, obviously. A variety of brands are doing such a thing, but it seems to be mostly just the Chinese brands that care about delivering this to you. You rarely hear... does Samsung even talk about it? I don't know, but
they don't. It's not a big part of
Apple. It's not a huge marketing thing, but companies like OnePlus, Oppo, Xiaomi, the whole bunch are taking care of you if you like fast charging. That's for sure. So
is it important to you?
Well, that's actually where I was going to go.
Oh.
I like fast charging.
I appreciate it.
I am not a reliable charger.
Me neither.
Okay, so that's where it comes in for me is just I'm trying to get away from being so hooked to my phone. But what that means is oftentimes I'll pick it up, it'll be almost dead.
My phone has not been 100% in like 3 months.
Exactly. So
it never makes it.
So that's where this comes in for me is I'll often be leaving the house and I really need to have a phone on me at that moment because I need to be reached.
Right.
And I'll look at my phone, it'll be super low and
you get a little nervous?
Well, no, it's not even a nerves thing. It's more like an
annoyance.
A tactical thing where I'm like, look, if my wife can't get a hold of me, she's going to panic and whatever. Like I'm going to have it at least on. So if I can throw it on the charger for 15 minutes and have the rest of the day of battery life.
Yeah.
That is just like super useful. What's the alternative? I mean, the alternative, you keep a car charger, assuming you're going in the car.
That's the thing.
Sometimes I'm not going in the car.
Okay.
There's it's just a variety of circumstances. And then even you can make the argument, see, the thing is, I'm so close to work, I'm never in a car that long. I'm only in a car for like 10 minutes.
It's not enough to juice you all the way up.
No, it doesn't give me anything unless I got some fast charging. Well, anyway, with the OnePlus 9 Pro, not only is it going to have fast charging, it's also going to have fast wireless charging. The wireless charging on the OnePlus 9 Pro is going to be faster than wired charging on a lot of its competitors.
Do they have the number out? Do they have the wattage on it?
Yeah, 50 watt, right?
Is that what it
OnePlus
is?
confirms 50 watt. 50 watt and 30 watt, I think, on the non-Pro, I'm guessing. I don't know. There's a lot of reports coming out, but
Sure.
previously the OnePlus 9 Pro was rumored to support 45 watt wireless charging. 50 watt over wireless. So now you have the convenience of just dropping it in, and then you have the really fast recharge. Here's what it says. Days after the initial leaks, OnePlus released a video of the 9 Pro charging wirelessly versus an iPhone on a lightning cable. It went from 1% to a full battery in 43 minutes. And the last part of the charge is always the slowest,
Yeah.
as you know. So that's pretty impressive. And OnePlus has this strategy, which is probably worthwhile talking about too, where they leak everything about the phone prior to the event.
It's weird.
All the features, they are able to kind of stay in the press. Like they can keep getting Android police articles. They can keep getting on Lou later. They can, because like, what is there to talk about? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
There's this whole content sphere. But
then it makes their actual product announcement so much less interesting.
Absolutely.
Right?
I mean, it's a trade-off. And the same strategy probably couldn't apply to other brands. Apple had 54 million views on their October event.
Oh my God.
You know,
that's a lot.
On a live stream. So the what may be the rule or the strategy for one brand might have to be different for another that has to be a little more scrappy. Has to fight, can't afford a major media buy, can't afford a TV commercial to be running during the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying over here?
Yeah.
So they need all these posts.
It probably helps. In the grand scheme of things, it probably keeps them in media's eyeballs for a while.
Yeah.
But
it makes the event a bit more of a dud.
And as a tech enthusiast, this is just, it feels weird to have it delivered like that. Like there's no excitement to this product. Yeah.
There's no Christmas morning.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I feel that. Definitely works both ways. How about this? We have some new, first of all, have you goofed around with VR at all very much?
On like regular VR, not PlayStation VR.
But like what, like Oculus or?
On Vive.
Vive, okay. Yeah. I was actually goofing around with VR a little bit more.
Yeah.
Recently.
It's really good.
It's
the thing that sucks about it is making YouTube videos on it because no one can experience what you're actually experiencing.
No. It's like this bizarre. It's behind you.
Yeah.
Like, who's the guy?
It's not the same.
No, it doesn't. It's not as appealing. But it is. They have really improved the experience quietly and have gotten the price point down.
Yeah,
too.
like what's it called? The Oculus makes.
The Quest 2.
That's it.
This is what I've been. This is the one I've been goofing with. So the Quest 2 is like $400.
Yeah. It's not cheap, right? It's still $400 or $500. But
actually, maybe it starts at. Will's gonna get us a price right here. It starts at. He's got the Canadian. No, he's got the Canadian price.
Yeah, it's like $300.
He's got the Canadian price. We need to see the U.S. price.
It's like $5 in the U.S.
No. I think it's $399.
Sure.
Or maybe $349. Anyway, for an all-in-one pack, you don't need a PC for it.
Yeah, right.
It's $399. You don't need a PC for it.
No, that's Canada, dude. I think it's even cheaper in the States.
Wait a second. What are we doing over here? Come on, Will. Get to the bottom of it.
$299.
It's $399. It's
no, dude.
$299.
That's a really
okay. So this is
good,
what I'm talking about. $299 to have that much entertainment potential.
It's amazing.
Like you can't get a console
Yep.
for that. You definitely can't get a gaming PC for that.
Right.
And if you had a gaming PC and a headset, it's a whole different level. I mean, if you already have one, I guess it's different. But
no, but this is the problem with the PC ones. You need to have the cables. You got to set it up. It's not.
But even if
like
the PC
effortless.
had wireless on it, you couldn't just pop up in your friend's living room.
That's right.
Bring the headset and be like, "Let's go."
That's right.
And then cast to the TV on a variety of different
other people can
casting devices.
Yeah, man.
So it's I mean, it's a fun time for the amount of money. And the experiences
really cool.
The experiences are getting better. But one big factor is how you control a variety of games that pop up on there. And PlayStation apparently is experimenting with Oculus touch style controllers themselves in order to bring DualSense style haptic feedback and triggers. Because PSVR, you don't. What do you have for controls right now? What do they look like? It's the wand. Yeah, so it's kind of a little bit less comprehensive
Immersive.
compared to. Are you sure? This is what you have? Yeah, it is. You're right. I almost forgot. The move motion controllers.
That's right.
Yeah, it's tracking the light. So
I mean, this is their older generation stuff.
so you have the one trigger. There's no shoulder button. I think the other button goes down where your middle finger rests. Either way, I was never a huge fan of that particular controller. And obviously, Sony themselves, if they're experimenting, they're thinking about other controllers. I don't know. What do you think about which controllers were you using?
The Vive ones, like
What's the shape of those look like?
it's like a stick with the circle at the top. That thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. And let's see the one I was using. I just want to refresh here. The Quest 2 controller.
So the Vive
See, the Quest 2 controller has a bigger hunk at the top with an A/B button. Interesting.
What's your circle for? Like, what do you put your hands in there? No.
No, you hold on. There's wrist straps, so you don't chuck them
right.
through the wall, but you just hold on to
Oh yeah,
the
your
bottom
thumb.
portion, and your thumb goes up into the central section, and you have a trigger on the outside.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm pretty happy. I was pretty happy with it. It actually looks like PlayStation's controller, if this render here is anything close to what the eventual product could be. It looks sort of inspired mostly by that Oculus design, but even crazier.
It's for tracking, I'm assuming, right? There's got to be stuff in that ring that helps
Antenna?
it track. Yeah.
They were
Like-
previously doing it with light because
Yeah.
they were utilizing the camera.
It's the easy way to do it.
Yeah.
This is way more like positionally accurate because you can, if you think about that stick with the light ball, if you move that around, there's like the orientation of it doesn't have the kind of accuracy.
They're saying here that they actually revealed additional details today. So they are officially announcing a new generation of PlayStation VR hardware. The new PSVR controller mirrors features found on other virtual reality controllers like the Oculus Touch, including the orb shape created by the hand-circling tracking ring. The new controller comes with finger detection for the thumb, index, and middle fingers when they rest on the appropriate parts of the controller. No button press is necessary. A grip button on the inner edge of each handheld controller can also be accessed by the middle finger to pick up in-game objects. Sony also promises that the controller is well-balanced and comfortable in tests with a range of hand sizes. Interesting. So Sony is not giving up on the VR thing. They want to compete with the likes of Facebook and HTC. Wow,
Yeah.
HTC.
That's what that's all I know them for right now. Is their VR.
I guess HTC's all in on VR, right?
Yeah.
That's what they got going on. I don't know if they're doing hardware for other manufacturers at this point, but it just brought me back saying that word to some of the smartphone stuff.
Yeah.
Do they even use the HTC portion? They're
just go
more
with Vive,
interested in
eh?
the Vive branding, right? Interesting. Now we
Yeah.
haven't goofed on the Vive product in a really long time, but that's looking a little bit bulkier than what I'm playing on right now.
Yeah.
Just a touch.
They haven't had anything new in a while, I think, in terms of a headset.
Right. Anyway, exciting times for VR. Here's one that's right in your wheelhouse. Alienware's latest gaming laptops can now be configured with Cherry MX switches.
Oh, I was reading on this.
An optional $150 upgrade.
So this I'm very interested in. All the gaming laptops I've seen that have used mechanical keyboards
Suck.
have been...
Oh, no. I had some recent ones from Gigabyte that were actually
Those
pretty
ones
good.
are better.
Yeah.
I forget which switch those ones are. The ones on the Gigabytes. Those are better.
The latest one. 'Cause
Yeah.
The Razer stuff and...
Right.
Yeah. I've tried...
Right.
At least you have some key travel here.
Right, but this one, the Alienware, I think this is brand new. I think Cherry made something. Yeah. So if you look at their, I don't know if they have a picture of it. If you scroll down there, Will, but there's like that thing. So the idea being that you get a way like deeper travel on it with an actuation point that feels like a real mechanical, supposedly. And so I read into this. They were like, I think if I'm not mistaken, they spent 3 years of engineering time on this thing. Like they scrapped it a bunch of times, and so we'll see.
Wow. It's amazing the persistence of the mechanical key switch.
There's something
Everybody still
about it
wants
though,
it.
right? There's something about it's because on the desktop world, mechanical keyboards are nice.
Dude, I'm with you. I just think it's interesting the old-fashioned technologies that we decide we have to hang on to.
Right.
Because there's been Razer has made a big pitch with the optical stuff, and obviously there's tremendous number of just membrane, low-profile laptop keyboards that are out there, and some people are fine with them.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know how much the average person cares about the keyboard, because I'm always hearing videos being like caring about the keyboard more than other elements that somebody might care more about.
Right. I care a lot about the keyboard.
For me, the identity of the keyboard the identity of the laptop is the keyboard.
Yeah, absolutely.
In a way. So
right.
It's something I pay close attention to.
It's how you interact with the thing.
Is what you touch.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. So
it's everything.
So I guess this is a welcome thing, I think.
If it's good.
If it's good. How do you feel about it being a $150 upgrade at checkout, though?
I mean, for the people that are investing in this kind of stuff, I feel like that's the price it was always going to be. It wasn't going to be like a $20 upgrade, right? It would have to be substantial.
Yeah, and I guess the laptop price, what it's going to be on the M15 and M17 R4 laptops, I'm guessing we're talking about a couple grand anyway, right?
Yeah.
So
those start at like 15 and up. Yeah.
So the like ratio there, the upgrade cost relative to what you're already prepared to pay.
Yeah. I'm hopeful for this one.
I guess it's not just the people that appreciate a nice keyboard for the purpose of productivity, but also from a gaming perspective, there is a perceived advantage.
I would say that gaming on a regular laptop keyboard, you can get misclicks pretty easily because you just can't feel it.
Okay, outside of this one, does one come to mind to you as far as the best keyboard you've used on a gaming laptop?
When you say this one, as in the one...
Like, never mind the Cherry MX Alienware because it doesn't exist yet.
For gaming?
Sure.
Or for in general?
Both. Like, what comes to mind when I say to you, nice laptop keyboard? I'm genuinely curious here. Nice laptop keyboard.
I'd say for most people, MacBook keyboards right now, like the scissor switch.
Non-butterfly.
Not the butterfly. Those are good. I mean, everyone likes them, right?
Okay.
From a productivity point of view.
Sure.
But if you're playing games and your finger, you don't want to press the wrong button.
Sure.
Because you'll kill your team if you press the wrong button.
Right.
Right? There's no good ones. There's no truly good gaming laptop keyboards.
Are you finding time to game these days, or?
Of course.
Oh, okay. All right. I don't know, man. We were talking about watching content. You're like, nah, I can't.
Yeah,
can't
but
do
you gotta put in time for games.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't use an external keyboard usually.
You don't. So you use the poor laptop keyboard.
I'll use them
just because it's convenient. Yeah. Wow. Interesting.
But I've misclicked plenty of times.
Right, but it's not enough for you to get the separate keyboard out.
That's right.
What are you playing right now?
The weirdest thing, I'm playing Minecraft. I never played it when it came out, when it was popular. And my kid got into it recently, and I was like, what is this junk?
Come on. So it's a bonding.
But it's weirdly good.
Yeah, of course it's
good.
And
it's like super popular still, and I get it now. I finally understand the appeal of Minecraft.
Yeah. It's vast. I mean, it's whatever you want.
Have you played it?
Of course.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not playing. I wouldn't, if you asked me, what are you playing right now? I wouldn't say I was playing it, but I have played Minecraft.
You've tried. Yeah, okay.
I've played Minecraft. I don't know that I'm playing anything right now.
Yeah.
I played, what's the last game I played? Whoa. Will went deep right there. I played a game of life. I played NHL recently.
They still make those?
They still make it. Oh, well, on the VR, I was playing Beat Saber. I was playing a fight game. I was playing Super Hot.
Super Hot VR is fun.
Yeah, Super Hot VR.
That's a good one.
Slow-mo. But I'm just trying to think of the last game that I invested time into. The way you just said, the feeling you just gave me about Minecraft, like you invested time. It's been too long. I don't know what I can name on that.
I don't think that's your jam, man.
Well, I'm not. Not at the moment. Not at the moment. Not at the moment. NVIDIA, they have a little thing called GeForce Now. Are you aware of it?
I've used it.
Okay, so they just upped the price. They raised the paid subscription plan to $10 per month or $100 per year.
What did it used to be?
Let's see here. It's in the second year of operating the commercial service. This is for new members. I presume, I don't know if everybody's getting the price hike. It used to be $5 a month or $25 for a 6-month subscription for founders plans. Priority subscriptions will be sold on a monthly basis. Monthly plans are now $10 per month or $100 per year. Is that a good deal? Based on your experience, I've played GeForce Now a little bit too. I actually was goofing around with Cyberpunk.
Right.
And then ended up playing it on Stadia a little bit.
Okay.
Like very little.
Okay.
A very little amount. I don't know, maybe like an hour. Hey man, maybe I put an hour. I don't know. Anyway, I was impressed with what they were able to do.
Stadia or GeForce Now?
Stadia.
Okay.
The GeForce Now had some sort of limitation on it. Was it 1080p? I can't remember. Could I play Stadia at 4K for Cyberpunk? I don't even remember now. I was doing some crazy stuff, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I don't remember. 60 frames. What did I have? What kind of? Anyway,
I don't feel
I
like
kind of merged them together. My brain
felt similar
has
enough.
merged those two experiences. They were very similar.
Yeah.
They were each of them seemed to be prioritizing one thing over the other, whether it was like in-game
image quality, or
texture and things versus resolution.
Right.
It had a different approach, but NVIDIA, you would assume, has a major strategic advantage here.
Yeah, but you're still dealing with the limitation of bandwidth. You can only pipe so much data.
But let's presume you have the bandwidth, which we do. I have fast connection everywhere.
We do, because we're in North America.
Absolutely.
But for the people that are consuming that.
I feel for all that. I'm saying just guys like us in our situation, given the option to instantly click a game and play a game.
Yeah.
Like there's something nice
there.
That
is pretty cool.
That was maybe the novelty of doing that was a big part of me deciding that the experience was positive.
For Stadia or for either of them?
Either of them.
Okay,
like
right.
I was staring at this daunting, I was just trying to explain to you how short I am on time.
Yeah.
Like my whole perception on time now. Like that's the key. Everything is a time transaction in my brain. I'm like, wait, how long is this going to take?
Yeah.
It's just so tight. We shoot this show. It's an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I go do this. I got people, man. I got family and it just feels like...
Me too. I got diamonds to mine.
Well, no, you made a bonding thing with it. But like my house, my life is chaos, man.
Right.
I promise you. It's chaos.
Right.
And so when I sit there and say, I know I'm not going to get to play this game, let alone find the time to download it, install it, lug the correct system everywhere I might have a split second to try it.
Right.
And so I was like, okay, let's goof with the Stadia thing because I might actually get to play it, which didn't happen.
Really cool.
Didn't happen, by the way, but I got to play like about an hour only because I could take it with me, like, and I could play it instantly.
Yeah. The instant is the biggest appeal. The first time you experience it, because every game needs to load. Doesn't matter if you're on console or PC, right? You got to install it. This was like you click it, 30 seconds later you're running around, right? It's weird.
It feels very futuristic.
Yeah.
It feels like a Netflix kind of moment. That was me envisioning just how much changed in our other media consumption habits. Mm-hmm. How you went from physically installing a disc to watch a thing
to streaming it,
to just clicking it and browsing and clicking. And it totally shifted my mindset around the friction involved in deciding to try a game.
Yeah.
A big part of it is just that lag time in the beginning of the commitment that you're making. If you had a subscription service, I'm just forecasting.
Sure.
Broadcasting. If you had the Netflix equivalent of gaming and it worked really well.
That's this stuff. Oh.
All of a sudden, I'm trying games way more, I think, instead of just getting entrenched in the games you like, that you're willing to make the investment in and playing the same things over and over again.
Kind of. Like the difference though is that you have to be intrinsically interested in playing games. It's not like by having the service now you're now a gamer.
No.
Right? I think you have to want it in the first place.
Sure, but I'm assuming that I am in that gamer mindset to begin with. In the same way that if you were to say, if you really like movies,
okay.
If you're a movie enthusiast, you probably have all these streaming services that are out there. You probably had to get HBO Max because they were going to be launching same day new releases that were in theaters and things like this. I'm saying if you are a gamer and there was a system that existed, and I'm sure that's what they're all hoping, there are still major technical barriers, obviously. It is not equivalent to a local experience.
And I think that's why it's difficult for people like me to appreciate it. Because like you've seen what regular gaming is like, and you've seen the lag-free experience that a regular console or a regular desktop would give, and it's the moment you have lag in a game, it's just so weird.
Yeah.
In moments where there shouldn't be lag.
It's a buzzkill.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I hear that, and these are all things that they're going to have to figure out. Obviously, with Stadia, it's a bit lukewarm at the moment. They were going to make games, and then they bailed on that.
Yeah.
And it's hard to know the commitment level. The game industry,
It's massive.
but it's so hard.
Yeah.
Look what happened with Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
My
dude.
God.
That was crazy.
Like, just imagine putting that much energy into
Yeah.
something for that many years, a decade,
Yeah.
basically, right? Am I insane?
No, I think those are real numbers.
And then
It's like
everybody's
10
angry,
years.
and then everything sucks, and everything's broken.
I can't
and
imagine.
You're supposed to be on all these cross platforms, and like, what is the sentiment?
Yeah.
There's no celebration. You
Right.
just did this thing with these impossible expectations. We don't even. It seems that when it comes to gaming, the expectation amplification is way beyond all other forms of things that we interact with. If it doesn't meet your criteria, and I think it's because of the potential payoff. If you are looking really forward to a movie and it sucks, well, it's 2 hours
Right.
of your life that maybe didn't go according to plan.
Right.
But if you were banking on a game changing your life, which I think people were,
Some people were really invested in Cyberpunk. That was
like they
weird.
were like, okay, I know where my next 2 weeks are gonna go, or 3
People
weeks.
like taking time off of work
Sure,
just to Cyberpunk it up.
and it doesn't meet the
didn't pan out.
expectation.
Yeah.
It's all very terrifying. So yeah, this stuff is really hard to do. But I will say this: one thing that the Cyberpunk thing exposed to me was how hard it is to make a game perform well on everything.
Especially now, man. Especially a game like that. Like that is one of the most graphically demanding things ever, right? And to be able to make it work on like a 4 or 5 year old console, that's incredibly difficult.
Absolutely. And so that's, I think, part of where my head was with the streaming stuff, which was, look, people can't, we are going to get to a point where it's just not feasible for everybody to have all the necessary hardware.
Right.
There's even people here who want to buy the hardware and can't get it.
Yeah. That's a lot of people.
That's a
right
lot
now.
of people right now. So this at least let people play the game in a fairly decent, it was definitely better than those old consoles.
Yeah.
And so it's just something that I've been thinking about how nice it might be for a game developer to only have to program like for one platform. Essentially, the way Stadia works.
That's Apple right there.
Sure.
Apple
but
Arcade
Stadia
and stuff.
and GeForce Now,
Yeah.
it's a GPU. It's a PC. It's a PC in the cloud, right?
But are there developers that are making there are
Yes.
making exclusive Stadia titles? Or
Oh
there
no!
were.
Well, they bailed on most of
Yeah,
that.
sorry,
they
there were.
bailed on most of that. But if I'm playing Cyberpunk in the cloud, I'm running it on a PC somewhere
Right.
that meets the
requirements.
the necessary specifications, so
Right.
that I know what type of experience I'm having. The developer knows what type of experience I'm having, and so forth. Like that was essentially where I was going. Was maybe not you, because you have all these GPUs lying around.
Sure.
But the person who can't get their hands on one, or the person who has an old console,
But it ruins the game. Like on certain connections and on certain games,
Sure.
if you're playing it on a platform like this and your connection isn't good, the experience is weirdly bad.
but
And
so does the old console.
yeah, but not in the same way. Like there are games like
But Cyberpunk on the fat
Was
PS4 was
terrible?
actually unplayable.
Really?
It was actually unplayable.
Okay.
The,
I didn't see it.
It was the glitches were unbearable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, really? Yeah. Okay.
So Sony pulled it from the store, right? Like you could only keep it if you
That is
already had it
nasty.
installed. It got pulled off the store completely. So I was sitting there thinking to myself, like, maybe this is more about console gamers than it is about
Right.
people who are already PC gamers
Yeah.
who have GPUs and things
If
like
you
that.
got $10 a month and you play
Yeah.
leading titles, yeah.
It's just something to think about. But I mean, I hear you too. It's like it's gonna be tough to deliver the experience that pre-existing gamers are used to, if not impossible. I mean, maybe eventually one day. Are you a big Nintendo guy? Did you ever goof with Nintendo at all?
Well, obviously when I was a kid, but not now. Even Switch, I didn't play very much.
Yeah. I've been following this development.
Oh, dude, I watched a YouTube video on this.
It's bizarre,
It's
right?
it's cool, but at the same time, it's something feels weird about it.
Yeah, because
Right?
Because you see, the footage I saw was from far away.
Okay.
It was like a spy camera when they were first opening the thing.
Okay.
And it looked like a video game occurring in real life.
Yeah, right.
Do you know what I mean? It's just there's something about the Nintendo stuff that the way they did the shadows,
Yeah,
and
the art style
the
and
cartooniness of it.
Yeah.
They really nailed the video game happening in real life effect.
Right.
Anyway, they put a lot of time and energy into it, but they had all kinds of COVID-related delays. And eventually, they've come on the other side of it, and they are going to be opening. Let's see what it says here. After not one, but 2 delays, Super Nintendo World, by the way, this is in Japan, will finally open today. Lines started forming at 6:30 a.m.
I would absolutely go to this thing if I was in Japan.
Oh, you would? Okay.
Absolutely.
See, I wasn't
For
sure.
my kids, though.
Of course.
Right? I feel like they would appreciate it. My wife loves Super Mario.
It's a brand. Mario
I mean,
is
this
a
is
big
such an
brand.
experience that, like, where else are you going to experience this? You can't.
No,
You got to be there.
I think it's the first of its kind, actually. I mean, we've seen amusement parks, obviously, for
right.
variety,
But not Nintendo.
Not Nintendo. It's
Yeah.
I think it's the first of its kind. I don't know if they have plans to do any more of them, but yeah, the attractions look really cool. I agree with you. I mean, look at the restaurant.
Right? It's so heavily themed.
That's awesome.
But if you're going to do it, you got to do it like this. You can't half-ass it. It's got to look just like this. They clearly put effort into it.
Oh, no, they put tremendous effort, and they kept getting screwed up with all those delays, but I agree with you. I would give it a shot for sure. Apparently, waits for some of the rides are up to 50 minutes. So it's hot right now, but of course it would be. There's a video at the bottom, Will, which might be cool to check a little fragment of the video at the bottom if you don't mind. Yeah, go for it. Universal Studios Japan's Super Nintendo World.
See, there was a part of me, though, and I feel like you should warn your audience here that if you ever plan on doing this, maybe by watching this video, you're going to take away from the experience when you do go.
Oh.
You know what I mean? That's a big part of it.
Yeah,
because this is, you only get to see it once, and then it's cool, right?
You're absolutely correct. I think, however, though, the state of the world right now and how
they're
hard...
never going to... Yeah,
well,
okay.
I'm not going to say they're never going to go, but I
Right.
would just say that I think videos serve a purpose right now for people
I get you.
that are unable to...
No, I get you. But seeing this, so I've seen a video on it once.
Yeah.
And the first time I saw it, I was like, wow, that is so cool. But seeing it now for the second time, it's already lost a huge part of its
This applies to
charm.
everything, Dave.
But especially with Super Nintendo World.
Yeah, I guess it's also the robot aspect. Like all these little robots moving around that are so consistent with their movements. Anyway, very cool. So it's open. So I don't know, whenever we can go to Japan, we'll go check that out. All right, here's another article. RIP piracy on YouTube. I don't know if you have seen any of this yet, but have you ever had a copyright issue on YouTube?
Where people took my videos and reposted?
Anything related to copyright?
No.
Nothing major?
No.
Do you no music that you used or an image that showed up in a video?
Oh, I did.
Oh, okay.
One time I had like a picture.
That's crazy. I had that too. One single frame.
I took a picture and I was like using the picture to show like detail on some laptop screen. Like look at the resolution of this screen. And the guy who took the photo was like, "That's my photo. And you're not allowed to use it." So I was like, "Okay, what's the solution here?" He's like, "You can buy it. You can buy the rights to use it for like $5." I was like, "All right." So it was an easy resolution. But I mean, technically
$5 is a bargain, man.
or like $8, whatever it was. It was very inexpensive.
Yeah, I think that guy, that's a fair...
Yeah, that's perfectly
I think
fair.
that's a fair exchange, but oftentimes it doesn't go that way.
Right.
Oftentimes it can
You got to pull the video.
it can be more problematic than that.
Right.
Anyway, YouTube is aiming to make a lot of that a thing of the past by having a pre-screening. So you probably experienced, well, maybe you haven't, but if you upload something, like see this show, we have all this media coming from the screen.
Right.
You never
know.
sometimes we play a video, and so we have a lot more experience with it. But what's cool here is now there's a check system actually along the uploader after details, after video elements, which is called checks. And this is where YouTube tells you, we'll check your video for any copyright issues that may restrict its visibility.
Interesting.
You'll have the opportunity to fix any issues before publishing your video, because that's really the problem.
Yes.
That the issue comes out after you publish it. Like, that dude could have asked you for 500.
Right.
I mean, I'm not making any suggestions.
Right.
I don't think you should do that. But once it's uploaded,
yeah,
it's a real problem to take it down.
Yeah.
Right? You're basically done with it. You can't re-upload it.
Yeah.
The audience is not going to watch it.
Yeah.
And never mind if you had a sponsor in the video or something like
Right.
this. There's a very problematic situation.
Right.
Now, granted, I don't think this would have caught your picture. I think this is mostly looking for music.
Music, right.
Music and video, I would guess. But it's still, I think it's kind of cool in the sense that it could probably eliminate a certain number of potential copyright issues. And I like those types of improvements. Another YouTube related thing, this is about shorts. Now, we talked earlier about TikTok, attention spans, content, the internet. YouTube Shorts has now officially arrived in the US.
Oh, it wasn't like a global rollout earlier.
I think it started in India. I can't remember, but yeah, they've been letting certain users have it and see it on their homepage. It's official as of right now. It's very TikTok-y, as I mentioned. It doesn't have all the features, and interestingly, it's one of the first times, at least as far as I can remember, where YouTube or Google actually put the word beta beside a new product.
They're actually calling it beta, or the
like
site
see right
did?
there on the shelf where you're going to see it. It says Shorts Beta, and the beta portion is almost as big as the Shorts logo.
That's right.
So that's kind of I don't know. To me, that's an indication that they're really not sure about it.
Very experimental,
or they're not anywhere close to where they want to get with it. I'm guessing it's just that they don't. Normally, they could put a feature, like they put stories out on the platform.
Yep.
They could put a feature and then just get rid of it if they don't like it.
Right.
Google has never had difficulty killing a project, but this time around, they put beta. That, to me, it does two things. Well, first, it brings up the questions that I just mentioned about they're probably not that happy with it the way it is.
Okay.
But then also, putting the disclaimer of the word beta in there is indicative to me of the level of importance of the experiment.
For them.
So they're saying, hold up, it's just our beta. That, like, in a way of, if it wasn't that good and they were considering not having it long term, just put it out and then make it disappear.
Right.
But putting beta on there is like, you're experiencing the early version of something that's going to be great at some point.
Yeah, maybe.
It's a maybe. I'm speculating.
Yeah, no, it's possible. I don't know. You're right, though. They don't put that moniker on many of their products.
No. So for the beta launch, YouTube Shorts will feature all the basics of any TikTok clone. Multi-segment camera makes it easy for creators to quickly string together clips. A selection of music tracks with catalogs from over 250 labels and publishers. A captioning tool. We really want to create a playground of creativity here where we give creators the raw materials to produce great videos.
There's something weird about all these social media platforms just like replicating each other. That's another thing that's so weird, right?
Like everything does everything?
Everything, yeah. Everyone does what everyone else is doing.
Correct.
And it's like, what's going on?
The social media platforms are essentially the operating systems of the internet.
Sure.
Like this started with Facebook. All of a sudden, Facebook was a marketplace,
right,
and a messaging app,
right,
and a social network, and and where you get your news. It's like you're not even supposed to load. You should be able to do everything you need to do within our app
on just Facebook.
We're all competing for your attention. But yeah, it certainly makes things confusing. Like if Dave needs to decide where he's going to post something,
yeah.
Well,
what am I posting?
Like where? Like even right now, let's say you put a video out.
Yeah.
Where does that go?
Right now, I put it on YouTube and I use the exact same thumbnail on Twitter and Instagram. I am so low effort on social media though. I'm the wrong guy to ask.
Hey, no, it's not wrong at all
Yeah.
because I feel that what you're saying.
Right.
I think you're the right guy to ask.
No, because I
actually, in
know
that
it's the
sense.
wrong thing to do.
But I didn't ask you for advice.
Oh,
I said,
oh,
what
right,
are you
what do
doing?
I do?
What are
Yeah.
you doing and why? Because what I was trying to illustrate is the level of fatigue around all the places you're supposed to be active. Like you felt it and exhibited it there.
Right.
The same feeling of, my God, where am I? What do I have to do? I'm
Right.
terrible on social media. We all have that feeling.
Yeah.
Because it's now this mountain you have to climb.
Or you just don't climb it, dude. You're like, it exists.
I know, but
Enjoy.
the mountain is there. Even if you choose not to climb it, it's there.
Yeah.
And I think
okay.
I think even by posting, like, let me put it this way, that would be the equivalent of saying, my video, 100,000 views is fine with me.
Right.
Okay,
Okay.
That's fine. But do you want 200,000?
Right. I see what you're saying.
Would you be angry about it?
Right.
Maybe there's a content creator out there that's like, and I've felt this way for a while.
When you truly didn't care about.
No. Where communities change as they get bigger.
They do.
That in some ways, when I bump into a channel's small community, I
Right.
feel like it's just sometimes you can.
It's so intimate and it's amazing.
Sometimes the sentiment, the feelings.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's something about scale and the mountain that we referenced. That a mountain is so big, you don't feel bad shouting out at it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It feels
Dude, there's
so robust.
everything with scale
big number.
it gets worse with scale. It gets worse with scale. Look at your channel. You have what? 15, 16, 20
subscribers?
million? Yeah. What do you? Okay, 17 million subscribers.
Yeah,
You're
17.8
huge.
actually.
Right, but your audience is it's so massive.
Yeah, it's like who's who. Like, can anybody actually? Are they talking to each other? Are they? I made a comment actually. I want to give a shout out to a YouTube channel, and now I'm going to forget the name of it. Will, do me a favor and just on YouTube search for types of unboxers. Hopefully we can find this. Let's see this. Oh, not boxers. That was actual there. This top clip right here. Two days ago. Okay, I guess it was uploaded 2 days. Yeah, click on this. Okay, this is a comedy channel. They have 2.5 million subscribers. And I was hoping you could click on that actual video at the top there. The types of unboxers one in the previous search. Yeah, just click on the video rather than the channel. So here's a video with 1.6 million views. It seems really well received. A lot of laughs.
Okay.
Anyway, I made a comment on it. Someone sent it to me and I made a comment on it. Scroll down a little bit here, Will. It might be buried right now. It was up there for a long time. Oh, there we go. Okay, I just did a laughing face. I found it funny, the representation of the different types of unboxers.
Sure.
My comment has 4,000 likes on it, and my comment has 210 more comments.
Okay.
And if you click on the replies to my own comment, it's all positive. It's all like, oh, dude, good to see you. How you doing? Where you been? What's going on?
Right.
And you're like, where are these people on my own channel? Like, what? Like, what is it about?
There's something about the audience that when channels get big, people just want to see it. They want to break it.
Maybe break it, but maybe also we are competing with a person's memory of a thing. And this is how, like, when you look into the past, things look rosy, right?
Sure.
So if you've been doing something for 10 years and people have been following along on that,
Okay.
because I've seen this on other channels, not just mine,
Okay.
or even if you were to take like a hit musical act or something like that, what the person is actually looking for is no longer available.
Right.
Because what they're looking for is a time machine.
Right.
They remember when they first interacted with your channel, and more importantly, they remember their
Emotions they felt when they...
then all of that, but
Okay.
also the point they were at in life at that moment. So this is why if people go and watch a musical act and they shout at them to play their hits.
Right.
And the last thing in the world that musical act wants to do is play their
Their
hits.
old stuff, right.
They're like, please let me be and do something else.
Right.
Desperately, because as we talked about earlier in the show, people are always changing, and it's healthy to change.
Right.
And it's actually even healthy for you as a viewer to go like something else.
Yeah, absolutely.
or to shift your expectations around content staying the same all the time.
So
We shouldn't really want that.
Do you feel pressure from your audience to revert?
No. I think I'm talking more just about the generic comment, which is what happened to the old Dave2D?
Right.
What happened to the old Unbox Therapy?
Right.
What happened to the old PewDiePie? What happened to the old...
Okay.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. And
when it's
go watch the old videos. They suck! What are you talking about?
Wait, hold on. You think your old videos suck?
No, but what I suppose what I'm trying to get at is that good and bad is too slippery.
Yes.
It's too slippery. You're having to go through the filtration system of the viewer at the time,
right.
the network at the time, what else was available to watch at the time relative to now.
You can't compare them.
It's gone.
Right.
The past is gone. And I'm not saying you can't. It's like the equivalent of when you remember a movie having been your favorite and then you go watch it 10 years later and it doesn't hold up at all.
Which is almost always.
Almost always.
Right.
Like there's very few things that hold up.
Right.
That aren't tinkered with and improved.
Right.
So I think it's just healthy to assume that everything you've done in the past sucks. Just assume it. Start from that standpoint.
Yep.
Instead of lamenting that you were tapped into some special thing. And I'll never be the guy personally to go to the musical show and ask them to play their hits.
Right.
I would ask them to play for me what they're working on right now.
Yeah.
But that's my point of view.
Right. Interesting. Now, I haven't watched this video of his.
Right. Yeah. It's a parody of the different types of unboxing videos.
And
on YouTube.
does he parody you?
I don't know which one I am. I'm probably a combination. I might be this guy. This is like the cool guy but he has sunglasses
Cool. Are you
on.
sure? Oh,
so I don't wear sunglasses, but he has a backwards hat, which I used to wear.
Right.
Then there's like an ASMR guy, and it's funny. Yeah, it's funny the way that they did it, and people love it. So shout out. It's the YouTube channel is Jord Indian. It's funny. And shout out whoever on Twitter sent it to me. I can't remember now, but shout out to you. You know who you are. All right, next one. Apparently, Google is going to invest $7 billion in post-pandemic offices and hires. Never mind the remote future we were all sold, but they're going to come together, bring.
Interesting.
That being together is core to its culture. And this kind of signals that, hey, we can't actually be remote.
I think being together is core to human beings.
Whoa.
Like even walking in here, like I have not gone to visit someone in a really long time, right? And I was driving here, I was looking forward to it, obviously to see the new place, but just to see a friend. When was the last time that happened? Last year, right? So it was cool. And then, this is gonna sound really weird, but I contemplated, like, I would, under normal circumstances, I would have hugged you when I showed up. I would have tried to hug you, right? But because of COVID,
I like how you gave me the option there.
Yeah.
It would have been an attempted hug.
Yeah.
What you did with
whether
that.
you did with it was your own choice. But I think that because of, like, it was weird, right?
Yeah,
just
distance.
thinking about human interaction. So I feel that. I feel that whole idea of, like, people work better, especially at a company like Google, when they are in a thing, in an environment together.
Well, I think it's also, I mean, they use the word in this headline, they use the word culture. I think it's also a thing where can you effectively distribute a culture with a lack of intimacy that comes with the having people distributed all over the country.
Right.
Can you hop on a Zoom call and distribute culture?
Not in the same way.
Right.
I don't think so, at least.
Yeah. So anyway, it's interesting because we've seen what's happened to real estate in places like New York, San Francisco. We've seen that there's been a lot of reevaluating.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of major companies, at least for now, deciding that they can't be paying these massive real estate fees, whether it's a lease or if they're holding property, that if they can't really utilize it, take advantage of it. And even on top of that, if they're not expected to have it.
Down the line.
If you're a potential candidate to work at one of these companies and you're used to the idea of everything being remote,
Right.
your expectation of that company is whatever company you hope to hire you is different than it would have been previously. I mean, I've been to the various Google offices,
Right.
and there's a chef having a barbecue,
Yeah.
and someone sleeping in the pot, and there's a rock climbing wall depending
Yeah.
on which office you go to.
Yeah.
It's like a big part of it is you go do that visit, and you're like, I want to work at a place like this,
Right?
Because you can feel
That
whatever
that energy,
thing
whatever
is,
it is.
whatever
Yeah.
they're trying to broadcast as being their point of view or the culture. Let's say.
Even the Toronto office, the Toronto like Google office, like it's pretty cool.
Cool. I think
Yeah.
it's less cool now than it used to be.
As in they've removed stuff.
I think they used to have a putting green or something.
They still have.
When was the last time you were there? 10
2
years ago.
2 years ago? I think 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
I don't know. Maybe they still have it, but a lot of people that I knew there are not there anymore. So I'm not
Because
sure.
the putting green was gone. They were like, this is what I was in here for?
The putting green was the final straw. No, I mean, they had an awesome cafeteria and things like that. But no, certainly spaces matter and there's an impact. And
Yeah.
working together with people is good.
It's
You know?
everything.
And even if you map it to something like what we're doing right now, like if we had have had you on Zoom instead of actually physically being
dude,
here.
I wouldn't have even done it.
Well,
I'm
neither
like,
would I.
I'll wait when I can.
Neither
see
would
them.
I.
Yeah.
But some people are having to deal with that lifestyle. So you
Yeah.
got to feel for them because there is nuance to communication, interaction, collaboration, which is these really minor. We have millions of
Facial
potential
muscles.
expressions and things
Sure.
that stuff doesn't show up. The little split moments where you have to say something, I have to back up, I have to say something, you have to
Right.
Zoom.
It's not
lost,
for that.
man.
Yeah.
All that detail is gone. It's like watching a poorly compressed video or something. You can see the pixels. Anyway, so Google's making the play. Alphabet.
It's a lot of money, man.
$7 billion this year on expanding its footprint of offices and data centers across the United States. Data centers, I get that. Including pouring $1 billion into its home state of California. A lot of people leaving California. Google's like, you can have some more cash from us. We ain't going anywhere. We're not going to Texas. Search engine giant said it would hire at least 10,000 new full-time staff over the course of the year in anticipation of a post-pandemic recovery in the U.S. Imagine the scope of hiring 10,000 new employees. How many interviews do you need in order to hire 10,000 employees? You need 100,000 interviews?
At least.
I'm just thinking that they would try to do
10 to 1? No.
Try to do that remotely. I don't know, whatever.
Unless they're doing like mass interviews over Zoom. You have like.
That's what I mean. Is it more of like a team interview thing where you would have 10 people at once?
Oh, dude, that'd be awful.
I don't know. I don't know, man. It's all very awful to me, but it looks like they're in the real estate market. If you're a real estate agent, call up Google right now.
Because they need you.
They're looking for $7 billion worth of footprint. Where were you on all this GameStop AMC stuff?
I went in. I went in. I mean, how could I not?
Break it down for us, Dave. Break it down.
Okay, so I was a casual Wall Street bet visitor on Reddit.
Sure.
Just for the entertainment of it, right?
Absolutely.
Even before GME, it was like, there's always funny stuff in there. And then I think there was like interest on GME that was at an abnormal level. And I don't play with this stuff. I don't touch this kind of stock, right? But I just had to go in. I went in at 92.
No, that's not bad.
I went at 92. And I'll be very front. I went at 92 and I didn't sell it at the peak, and it crashed to 50, and I held on to it. And then recently I dumped it.
When it went back up?
It went up to like 340 or something like that. I dumped it at 270.
On the second jump.
Wave. It still has potential. Right now it's at like 200, right? Who knows? But did you follow this stuff?
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah, we talked about it a lot on this show.
Okay.
There's some merit to it. Like it's not empty.
No, it's not just a pure meme stock.
The early reports were not comprehensive, to say the least.
Right.
But I was watching. I was on the sidelines. I didn't buy it.
Okay.
I was having fun from an entertainment perspective looking at it.
Right.
I was curious as well about AMC, which is actually the the article that I brought up because I actually found. I think AMC. I think people are going to rush back to the movie theater.
Yeah.
I
think so.
I've been following what's been going on in China a little bit and where things have opened back up.
Right.
Avatar recently passed Endgame again for
Avatar.
Remember?
Like that old, the blue people Avatar?
They re-released it because people are so desperate to go to the theater. They have nothing to watch.
No way.
They re-released it in China. People want to get out of the house, man. And
I wonder if that movie holds up to my memory of it. Because I thought it was really cool back then.
Nothing does, right? Like that's how memory works.
Wow.
So
okay, and people went to it.
Yeah, it's again
million.
the biggest film globally.
Goodness.
So it's been a long haul, like waiting this thing out, and
Right.
AMC is barely hanging in there. So I'm not. This is not financial advice,
Of course, none of this is.
but it makes sense to me that you would have a rush to get back to the movie theater, and there's no place for it. It can't get worse for AMC.
Can we see AMC over past 1 year?
Well, that was the spike there is around Wall Street bets because they were along for the ride with GME because it's a heavily shorted stock. Now,
I mean, that spike is really skewing the percentage, like visually. But they've had a decline since for quite a while.
oh god, put a 5 year on it. Put a 5 year on it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a mess. But that's the movie theater. But what I'm saying is everyone in society is reevaluating what matters to them.
Yes.
Like the thing that happened with COVID is it was all of a sudden there's nothing you wanted to do more than go to a restaurant.
Yes.
Like,
Right?
You were just like, can I see a menu?
Can I see? Right. I know.
Can somebody
It's so weird.
bring me a menu? Can I get an appetizer? Can I have an experience?
Yeah.
Experiences are about to boom.
But there's something I will say about movies that, like, okay, so the numbers you're seeing of like people going crazy for it in Asia, that feels temporary.
Okay, sure.
Right?
I'm not saying you got to hold the stock for the next 10 years.
No. Oh, I'm not talking about the stock. I'm just talking about like the desire for that movie theater experience.
I see.
It's like I'm jonesing for it too right now, right? I'd love to see Bond or that the new like Marvel movies. Like I want to see them in theaters. That'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if I'd want to.
Yeah. I agree with you on that. I think look, there's a big battle in front of them. The streaming services, the announcements, the HBO Max stuff. Christopher Nolan couldn't stop it.
Yeah.
Like it's obvious that there are some real problems. Maybe there's not as many movie theaters, but the thing that you're trying to do and map here is which side of it are you on right now? Like, can it go? How big can it go? And
Right.
for how long and everything else? Like, obviously 5 years ago, AMC was a far more valuable share than it is even right now, even though it's trending upwards right now. But it was death. Like this is that stock that was right on the cusp of potentially not existing.
This was like the blockbuster.
It had a blockbuster moment.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if nostalgia is enough to give it
Another run?
one last boost before the curtains close on the movie theater experience.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't necessarily think it has to, but I do obviously understand the changing market conditions and the fact that there probably won't be as many of them. But I think within a given city, they're going to be there.
Yeah.
It's like they're still newspapers, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's last.
It's true.
But they're there. And like I said, I'm personally looking forward to potentially going to the movies. It would be such a weird experience, but
I watched that Christopher Nolan movie Tenet.
Yeah.
Like in theaters, kind of like early pandemic.
Right.
And everyone was masked. And it was,
yeah.
But it was weird, right? Because we didn't know the kind of like the risks of it. Everyone was masked and they had like filtration going on in the theater, but it took away from the experience so
Absolutely.
much,
Yeah.
right? So
It's extra mental bandwidth.
Yeah.
Just processing that part of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, AMC, more than 40 AMC locations in California will reopen beginning Friday, including all 25 locations in Los Angeles County
Wow.
and all 8 locations in San Diego County. The company expects 52 of its 54 California locations to be open by Monday, including 2 brand new theaters in Los Angeles area. So yeah, these things are opening back up. and I guess people are pumped. They're going to go in there and buy $20 popcorn. LeBron James has jumped ship from Coca-Cola to PepsiCo, and he will be the new face of Mountain Dew. Is that a big deal?
It's not a big deal. It's surprising to me, though. When was the last time you heard of a celebrity endorsement switch between those two specific companies? That's big.
Oh, that's actually the next story.
There's someone else that did it.
The next story is around a switch from two very big companies.
Really?
But
Justin Long.
Let's start with this one. Let's start with this one real quick.
That's so funny. Did you specifically choose the order of these? To go
it
from...
It wasn't a tremendous amount of thought. Actually, the Justin Long one, we talked about it on yesterday's episode.
Okay.
So I didn't know if I was going to bring it up, but I wanted to get your take on it because I was so conflicted. Like the way we were having to dance to discuss it, like it's just a weird.
I don't need to dance. I'll rip into it, man.
But like
when we get there.
I mean, I didn't need to dance either.
Oh, right.
I was just. It's more complicated, I think, than it might seem on the surface.
Sure.
That's all I'm saying about it. But anyway, go back to
LeBron?
Let's go to LeBron. So I have a few questions about this one. These are huge, obviously huge brands.
Right.
Pepsi had a big presence, obviously, at the Super Bowl. They always do. They had the halftime show. Coca-Cola opted to not have a commercial at all, which I think is the first time in a very long time.
They've skipped it, yeah.
Normally they'd let Pepsi have the halftime show, but then they have a big commercial to remind you they exist.
Yeah.
So Coca-Cola not doing that and now also not re-upping and paying LeBron indicates to me that Coca-Cola may not be super interested in marketing the way that it previously has. See,
I don't know how effective this kind of marketing is. I don't have metrics or right. Well, I mean, maybe you've looked into it. I've never even looked into this stuff.
I mean, this stuff is like Google Trends. Like we have to look at bigger trends to figure out if any of this matters. Like, does Pepsi go up around Super Bowl? I presume it does a little bit. People were probably because the Weeknd did a performance and Pepsi's name was all over it. How much? I don't know. Like, we're in such a weird world where...
Do you have a preference between those two? If you had to drink?
I would drink Coca-Cola if I had it. Right. But I don't drink those at all anymore.
Sure.
And that's what I was trying to get to.
Okay.
Is that are we at a point where these brands are so diversified and so aware of the fact that consumption habits have changed?
Yeah.
That they don't... If you're Coca-Cola, you're like, look, we're selling Dasani water now. Right. Or... I don't know, that Perrier you're drinking, whose product is that? Is that Pepsi, Coke? But you know what I'm saying?
Right.
They have their own carbon. It's like so many new, and sports drinks, and there's so many sub-brands that might actually be taking more of a focus because I have looked at the numbers, at least as far as consumption habits are concerned, and both Coca-Cola and Pepsi are not what they used to be.
They've both declined.
Declined, absolutely. The fastest growing parts of their business are water products.
Wow.
Well, has your consumption habit not changed? When I was a kid, I had a Coca-Cola all the time.
I never drank pop a lot.
Oh, ever?
It was a treat for me. Okay. I still like it, right?
Sure.
I drink Coke Zero.
Oh, okay.
Like, I'll buy it.
How often?
There's some in the fridge pretty regularly. No.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right.
But there's Coke, but my wife is not a Pepsi consumer. I can go either way. I don't really care enough.
Oh, okay.
But I'm just saying that I feel like people's preference was baked in a long time ago. And the presence of LeBron or not doesn't really change that. Yeah, well, I've seen I actually watched a documentary on the origin and combat of both of these brands. They used to be just straight up vicious about it. It would be like the taste test, the famous Pepsi campaign. They just put people in the street like, which one you like better? Go ahead. Right. And it would be Pepsi or something. And then Coke would do another ad where they mimic or mock the original test and say it was scammed. And it was just like the mechanics of the conflict have gone on, and so a lot of this is just bragging rights, right? Some executive, we got LeBron James, right? And who had him before? Oh, Coke did. Okay, sweet, right? We got him now, type of thing. But he has actually been with Coca-Cola. I didn't even know that. I knew that. I knew that because it was Sprite. You don't remember all the Sprite campaigns with LeBron? With LeBron? Interesting. Like if I had to associate him with a drink, it wouldn't have been Coke or
You don't
Sprite.
remember that ad campaign?
Oh, I do, with the red bottle.
Yeah. Which one with the red bottle? Which one are you talking
Is that the thing right there? Sprite's this thing.
Oh, I don't remember that
I've seen
bottle.
this.
But that ad campaign over there, he says, how does it go? I don't always drink. I'm forgetting now. Want a Sprite? Anyway, whatever. It's an ad campaign for a Sprite. He looks very thin right there, by the way.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he goes to Pepsi, and then Pepsi moves him. He does not market Pepsi itself. He markets Mountain Dew,
Right.
which is a Pepsi product.
Which is their Sprite.
Which is kind of
No, they have 7-Up. Never mind.
They have 7-Up, but
Yeah.
it's probably they probably looked at some numbers and realized, okay, those that would be influenced by LeBron, the Mountain Dew's a better
Mountain Dew
choice.
drinkers.
Whatever, it's an age, location thing.
Sure.
But anyway, whatever. Shout out to LeBron. I bet he got paid a couple bucks,
Yeah, for sure.
10, 20 bucks, something along those lines. All right, the next one, which you appear to be more emotionally invested in.
This was so weird, dude.
The Mac guy, Justin Long, converted over to PC. Intel has gotten to him. He did a series of, I'll just do a quick recap. He did a series of commercials for Intel. This is the guy from the famous I'm a Mac, I'm a PC commercial series. It was a number of videos. And he has now done a number of videos, a series of videos for Intel talking about why you want a PC and not a Mac. So the complete flip, the complete opposite. Have you watched any of these clips?
I watched one.
Do you remember which one?
Don't remember which one it was. It would have been one of the top ones there.
Well, there's one.
It wasn't the gaming one.
So there's one actually.
The very first, the one on the far left. 2-in-1 flexibility.
2-in-1. Okay.
Because I watched that one specifically because this is the product category.
Well, we talked about it at the beginning of the show. 2-in-1 versus iPad.
Yeah. But it's the product category that I feel like Intel would want to combat the hardest. So I'm like, what did they bring in this at? And it was so stupid. Like, it didn't feel like something Intel would have done in the past. Forget about market positioning and like what they're trying to achieve here. It didn't feel like something Intel would have done in the past because this felt so desperate. Now, Intel's never been in this situation where they've been clawing at market share. Well,
they had one situation relatively recently where they were on Twitter, I believe.
Okay.
And it was a similar vibe to this campaign.
For what product?
It was just around their laptop chips in general. Like, I think they were maybe talking about like some Adobe apps, or it was some sort of M1 saltiness.
It was, okay, I do remember. It's the same, it's part of the same campaign to me. It's like they have this weird thing right now. Intel has this weird thing where they're trying to show how relevant they are by screaming, "I'm relevant." It's so weird.
Right. So it sounds to me that you see absolutely zero upside to what they're doing here.
None.
Zero.
No. I mean, it looks okay. From
but even the fact,
perspective,
okay, what about just along the lines of whatever other commercials Intel would have done, we wouldn't be talking about right now.
So you're saying they wanted to look like clowns?
I mean, the internet is weird. The internet is so weird. It's we can't avoid the memes. The memes are landmines that we always step on.
Right. Okay.
And I'm not, look, for the record, I'm just putting that out there.
Right.
This is the complexity of the conversation that I was talking about with Will when it first happened yesterday.
Yeah.
It's like that they may have executed it poorly.
Okay.
But that is news. The Mac guy becoming the PC guy, it's on every tech website.
Right.
It's on this show. It's on every show. It's on, even if it plays in a person's home on TV.
Okay.
What is their takeaway? The Mac guy is a PC guy.
Okay.
I'm talking the average person that isn't really super invested in it the way that we are, that isn't analyzing M1 benchmarks.
But when you make a commercial like this, where it's this exact transfer, right? Person X has now become person Y. When you have that type of marketing campaign, it just doesn't, it's just a bad look. Especially in North America.
Dude, it's awkward. It's everything you're saying.
Right.
I completely
So
agree
how is
with
that a win?
because
In any manner.
because in the end, what is the necessary takeaway? The necessary takeaway is that you watched it. Because if you watched it, you would at least recognize the fact, at least in the case of this clip, that, oh yeah, Apple doesn't have a 2-in-1 product. That's it.
Okay.
That's all you need to know.
And that's their goal.
How else does Intel let me know and everyone in the world know in a moment for a reasonable amount of money
Right. That they have a 2-in-1 product.
that they have a 2-in-1 and Apple doesn't? They tried it with a kid. They had a random nobody do this exact same thing. And I
guess you're
apologize for
right.
calling the person a nobody. An actor. They
Sure.
had a young actor be like, I want the Surface, or I don't remember what the product
Sure.
was, because I can do this and that and
Sure.
flip it and flap it and whatever else.
Okay.
And it didn't make news. It was like, oh, there's Intel being petty again.
Sure.
If you're going to be petty,
Bring a
if you're
bring
going
a
to be
Justin
petty,
Long
be
in.
petty big.
I guess it's effective in that manner. Sure.
It also gets the Mac people screaming. Like
or laughing. I'm not a Mac guy. Listen,
talking.
sure.
Like the people hate this conversation about like the idea of, it's like if a tree falls in the woods and no one's there to
Sure.
hear it. The weird philosophical conversation.
Okay.
I mean, step one of marketing is getting a message to you.
Right.
Any message
And it's better than no message.
is better than no message.
Right.
In most circumstances, because look, if you were such a hardcore Mac person that this really bugs you, or
Right.
you're one of these people in the comments that are angry about it, you weren't going to buy it anyway.
Yeah, that's true. I just from the perspective of efficacy, right? How many people are watching this and now going, "Oh, now my purchase decision is made. I will be going for that."
No,
too. Right?
it's not that fast though. It doesn't
Right.
need to be that fast. It's just now there's a fragment inside your mind of, I should probably also check out 2-in-1s, and you're not even sure how it got there.
Yeah. Okay. From that perspective, I can see how this. I mean,
They
if that
could
was
have got
their-
a celebrity. That's the one thing you could say. They could have got LeBron James, paid him Pepsi money.
It wouldn't have had the kind of shotgun.
It wouldn't
effect
have as
that
much
this did.
reach in the tech community,
Yeah.
that's for sure. But they could have run a campaign on television or to the general public. I saw that recently. I think it was Epson got Shaquille O'Neal, and he's selling ink. And you're like, that is such a weird fit. But
Right.
but it's just, this is how the endorsement stuff works. It's familiarity.
Okay.
It's like, I've heard that person speak before. You have granted them greater access
Right.
to your data bank through the nature of familiarity.
Right.
And so the same kind of weird thing happens here, where even through your anger, you have received the information. Now, I'm not saying that was their intent, by the way. I
Right,
think
okay.
they would have preferred if it was pulled off better. I gave a shout out to Justin Long. I said, like, look, dude, get paid. Do your thing, get paid. Nobody else is banging down your door.
Right.
Hollywood sucks right now. You can't catch a break. Take the gig. But if I'm Intel, he obviously could look a little bit less terrified. If I'm Intel, like, I think this is where a lot of the discomfort comes in.
Because of his awkwardness in
The
this?
script wasn't amazing.
Right.
His entry line is, I'm a person. Like, that's what because he used to say, I'm a Mac.
Yes.
And now it's like, I'm
I'm a
a
person.
regular guy, or whatever the hell it is he says. What did he say, Will? I'm a what? Maybe play it. Play a second. Just play a second of it. I'm a what?
Or you can just throw on
Just a real person doing a real comparison.
Just
A
a
real
real person.
person.
Like, what? Who signed off on that? What is a real person? If everyone else is fake, the old him was fake. He's an actor still. It's very complex because he's saying, I'm just a real. Well, you're an actor being paid to say that you're a real person. So you're not a real person.
right.
Whoa. That's like that meme with the brain.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, wait a second.
That was my only issue with it, right? It wasn't the message itself. It was how it was delivered in this
Yeah.
weirdly awkward manner.
And I feel that, and I hear that. I got one more angle on it, which is the comparison at all. Never
Why
mind
make that
Justin
comparison?
Long. Never mind I'm a Mac, I'm a PC.
Sure.
Never mind the M1.
Sure.
Should Intel bother, again, you're on the marketing team.
Okay.
Should Intel bother with the Mac comparison and what
No.
it perceives to be its advantages? Or
You
should
leave
it
it.
just not even touch it?
You want you're just drawing attention to a sore spot.
Hmm.
You know, every time there's there's no point. There's no point drawing attention to this benchmark, and getting sweaty with the technical stuff, because they're two dichotomous things. You're trying to make this appeal to the average person, right? To bring the idea of existence of 2-in-1s into their minds, and yet you're bringing in these technical comparisons and stuff. It's just it doesn't go well.
So your version of this commercial is what? They want to tell you.
Let's say they got Justin Long.
Oh, no, they don't even need just. Okay, sure, they've got.
No,
Justin
but I mean,
Long.
you need to have Justin Long.
Oh,
He's
you
the-
like just having Justin Long
I
there.
think without him, you don't get the visibility,
Amplification.
right? You need
Okay.
that. Okay, so you need him. What does it look like? I don't know, man. Not this.
I mean, this is obviously, it's a very hard task. I'm putting you on the spot here,
Right.
so I don't expect. I mean, it's a difficult one, but I'm not. I would assume that there's enough people working there and enough money on the line that
Right.
that there was some sort of a market study. I mean, this is
For
big
sure.
for them to put 5-6 things out. They knew it was going to go everywhere.
Right.
Again, it probably wasn't executed exactly how they wanted, but I would assume that they have lost customers to MacBooks.
And also to AMD stuff as well.
And
Yeah.
of course the AMD stuff, but I don't think that they feel they can easily recapture that. I
Right.
think they think that the MacBook target is feasible. Obviously they do. They put a
Right.
lot of energy into this.
Right.
Obviously they do. But it's a tough one to figure out the correct approach, because if this is just a video that's lacking the MacBook, it definitely doesn't have 200,000 views. If this is a
Right.
video of Justin Long playing with a 2-in-1 and no reference to the Mac, he's like, check out this new cool
Yeah, no one.
2-in-1.
It's not controversial enough.
Yeah. So anyway, it's complicated. There's one other one, go back, which I think might actually be cringier, which was the gaming one. The second one to your left. Yeah, there you go.
See, the gaming one is. I feel like this was completely unnecessary.
Okay.
Because no one, right? No gamers can.
Real comparison between them. So, you're a PC gamer? What's up with you? You're doing all this gaming on a laptop then? Yep. Wow. Okay. And do we have a Mac?
No one really games on a Mac.
I know.
What did that one change something for you, or
No,
okay?
I didn't like it. Obviously.
You know what I think one of the problems maybe with this is also that the whole thing feels antiquated.
Yeah.
The whole thing feels like it happened 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it did happen 10 years ago, or whenever maybe even
Original-
more than 10.
Right.
Whenever the original commercial series, like
I'm a
him
Mac.
doing the act of, I know nobody games on it.
Yeah, yeah.
It feels like it would have been funny or
Right.
possibly easier to receive.
10, 12 years ago.
It's really interesting.
There's some production error going on here.
What are you seeing? Oh,
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, it's not really there.
Yeah, it's just an overlay. I think it's to make the screen brighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
They should have masked that, man.
Yeah,
Disappointed in their production team.
yeah. Look, I'm just gonna go. This stuff is also very easy to chew on, like to just chew up completely.
Right.
It's so easy we just point and we
Right.
didn't have to make it, and
Right.
and making things is hard.
Yes.
And especially executing something like this where you have a specific mandate and there's a lot of money and jobs on the line.
Right.
You get to just make something and be like, I like it, get rid of it.
Right.
But there's a lot going on here.
Yeah. And the
And-
messaging has to last, not just a day, right?
And
They're-
to variety of audiences. And the point is,
Right.
it's just hard. But I will just say in a defense of Windows and
Sure.
Intel, and you look at the table that he has in front of him there, you look at that Zen book there with the dual displays and things
Yep.
like this,
It's cool.
There are interesting things happening in PCs that are worth looking at in PC laptops.
Absolutely.
And if this makes some people that weren't previously thinking of doing so look into potentially a PC laptop, they
Right.
might find it. They might be surprised what they find. Now, obviously, you're not going to find an M1 chip anywhere,
Right.
but you will find a variety of other features that might be cool or useful to you.
Yeah, and I'm not taking that away from them. I feel like Intel's strength is right, like gaming, having the flexibility and having choice. There's a lot of good stuff that Intel does, or just like non-MacBooks do really well. Windows laptops excel in many things, but that first video, the one with the most views and the one that had the most attention, the whole idea of having like, 2-in-1s, like that is a very niche market. And you're trying to sell this product, you're trying to sell a brand off of this extremely niche product. That just felt really weird, man.
Yeah. Well, it's certainly not perfect. It's got plenty of issues. It deserves the criticism.
They should have gotten you to like just bend it in half.
I'm like, you see this MacBook? I hate it. Bang. Yeah, no, I think the response might have even been worse, actually, if that was to take place. Well, let's look at the comments. Let's see what the people are saying. It appears to have attracted 3,500 thumbs down. This is literally Intel admitting they're being tag teamed by AMD and Apple right now. Yeah, there's the AMD factor, which you mentioned previously, which doesn't help.
Right.
It doesn't
It just
help.
eats into them more.
It's definitely coming from both sides, and they certainly feel somewhat desperate at the moment. But
yeah.
I think this is, I guess, for me, my sympathy comes in as far as being the armchair quarterback and never being fully satisfied at analyzing something without putting myself in the exact seat of the person that was forced to make those decisions.
Okay.
I want to imagine what it was like to sit there. I want to imagine what it was like to be Justin. I want to imagine the marketing director at Intel. I want to imagine all these people along the way that had an impossible job in front of them.
Right.
Who weren't the engineers, who didn't develop a product.
Yeah.
That's just part of the process for me when I'm trying to get to the bottom of something. Is it's not enough to just say, that's a piece of crap. I hate it.
Right.
Because it's not comprehensive. And it is way harder to do things than to criticize them.
Right. Absolutely. And so I think it's unfair. I see what you're saying. For me to look at this ad and this whole campaign, there's parts of it that are comical, but they have a task. Like they're required to, right? They need to put out some kind of campaign out there that does this. So I get it. It just feels so unlike them.
I mean, and obviously they would love to have an M1 of their own.
Right.
I mean, that's the root of it. And that's what's aggravating, I think, to tech fans is they're like, you wouldn't have to do this if you had that.
Yeah.
So anyway, that is our last story of the day. Dave, it has been a pleasure having you on the show. I know Willie Doo's enjoyed it. I saw him smirking over there on a number of occasions. You have decided not to promote anything today, but I think you should. I asked you before.
There's
I said, "What are you promoting?
Man.
What's your latest book that you've written? Where's your new music? Where can people hear your
Where's
new
my
music?
mixtape?
Yeah, where's your mixtape?
I don't have anything to promote. Don't even go visit my channel unless you actually care about that stuff, because it's. I'm serious, man. I hate drawing.